Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is kind of a continuation of the video series I have started a while back. So that's kind of like the beginner's guide. So I already did a basic face tool video, and one of them is like the top 10 drugstore products for your starter kit. So this is the continuation of that beginner's guide video, but here I wanted to talk about the my top 12 MAC eyeshadow recommendation for the beginners. I wanted to keep it like top 10. I really tried hard, but I ended up making like top 12. So the number is not a matter, but I really wanted to give you guys some guide so that like if you are just starting with makeup and if you are trying to build up your MAC eyeshadow collection, so that you can get some idea about like which color you should go for at first. Because at MAC counters, when you go there, you will see hundreds of shades in front of you, and it's kind of challenging to pick the colors you want first, because some of the colors look very vibrant and very attractive, but you end up not using them at all sometimes, or sometimes you just use them only for some specific look. But there are some colors, those are not so appealing when they are on the pan, or sometimes you just overlook them when you are walking through the counters, but those are really the colors that you would reach for most of the times. That also happened to me, like when I first started collecting my makeup. I remember that I didn't know much about those eyeshadows at that time when I first started collecting my MAC eyeshadows. So I didn't know about transition color or the everyday colors. So I went to the MAC counter and I picked 4 eyeshadows which looked like on the pan, which looked more appealing to me. So I can still remember that one of them was like the blue color. I think that was like freshwater. One was deep gold. One was black, and one was matte highlighter. So when I came back home for a few days, I really tried, make some look with that, but I found out like something is missing. I cannot wear the blue and gold for my day-to-day life. I can use the matte highlighter, but where is my lid color, or where is some other color that can, complete the look? The black and the highlighter was good, but they were not useful without the other shades. So over time I realized that when you are a beginner, you really need to do some research and should get all the colors that you need first, or that you would reach for for your day-to-day life, or rather than just getting some colors randomly from the counter. So I really faced that challenge. I have been through that, so I understand like how you feel as a beginner, how how confusing it is. So keeping that thing in mind, I wanted to put up something for my beginners friends, so that you can get some idea like which MAC eyeshadows you should get first for your starter kit if you are just starting with makeup, or if you are just starting collecting your MAC eyeshadows. So I just kept it like top 12, but at the same time I will give you guys some comparison of like the similar shades that you can get. Like if you don't like this one, you might get a very similar shade like that, depending on your skin tone or your preference. So it might look like a lot more than like 12, but these are the basic 12, but at the same time I will show you some comparison side by side. So let's start. So first I will start with a basic color, and this one is my absolute favorite. As you can see that I already hit pan on that. So this one is All That Glitters. I absolutely love this color. There was a time I used to wear this color every single day. I am not exaggerating, guys, every single day. So I literally had to drag me out from using this color, because I was obsessed with that. So it's a beautiful like champagne rose gold kind of color. It has some rose gold hint to it. It looks absolutely stunning with brown or darker skin tone. If you have a little bit lighter skin tone, you might like Naked Lunch better. So Naked Lunch is a tad bit lighter than All That Glitters. Let me swatch it side by side. And it has more pearl tone to it. So this one is Naked Lunch and this one is All That Glitters. As you can see, like All That Glitter has more pink to it, and this one has like more pearl or what should I say, white base to it. So if you have lighter skin tone, Naked Lunch is great for you, and if you have a little bit medium to darker skin tone, All That Glitter is a great one. So this is like such an everyday color. It you can make a very intense look with them by using just some dark outer V colors, or you can just use them all over your lid and put some eyeliner and mascara, and it will just give some glow to your eyes. So it's beautiful. I highly recommend either of them. Like if you don't want to get both of them, at least get one of them if you are just starting. You will not regret, trust me guys. The next one is, everyone talks about this. This is one of their best seller, and this is Satin Taupe. It's a beautiful taupey color. It has so much dimension. Like it is purple, brown and silver mixed it all together in a pan. It looks absolutely stunning for daytime look, or you can also make a very intense look with that. Yeah, with the same eyeshadow, because it has such, you know, purple and brown to it. You can use some darker brown or darker purple with it, and you can just make it a very intense eye look. Or you can just use it by itself during daytime, and it will create a very soft smoky eye. So it will not be too much. You can totally work it during school or work time, and it will not look, you know, that you have worn like visible vibrant eyeshadows like the purple eyeshadow. So this is very subtle, but at the same time it gives very much like depth to your eyes. So I absolutely love Satin Taupe. As you can see, I am almost hitting pen on that. The next one is a transition color. Yeah, so when I started, I didn't know about transition color that much, but this is a staple for any eye makeup. So you need at least one transition color to, you know, define your crease. Maybe you have already a defined crease, but then you are lucky. But at the same time, like still you need to define your crease a little bit with some skin color that is a little bit darker than your skin tone. Then it creates some dimension to your eyeshadows, and it looks like more, you know, depth and vibrant. So the first transition color I want to talk about is soft brown. It looks amazing on any skin tone, but especially if you have very dark skin tone, it might not show up that much on your skin. But for light or medium skin tone, it will work as a perfect transition color. I generally prefer it to put it all over my crease, but since I have a darker skin tone, so I use another transition color on top of that to intensify it a little bit. So depending on your skin tone, you might go a little bit darker than this color. I will show it in a bit. Or you can just stick to this one. It's a beautiful, beautiful transition color. When you look on the pan, it looks very, you know, what should I say, like very muted. It is very easy to overlook when you are, you know, looking at the counter, but it's a beautiful, beautiful matte brown color. Like it is the perfect, you know, brown, which has a tad bit of orangey undertone to it, but it's very subtle. But if you have a skin tone that is a little bit tan like me, or a little bit darker than tan, then you would prefer texture than soft brown, because it would show up a little bit more. So texture is more orangier and more warmer, and at the same time it is more darker, so it will show up more on your eyes. So if you just want to get one transition color, you can either get soft brown or texture depending on your skin tone. So texture, when you look at the pan, it looks like it has some shimmer to it, but when you know, blend onto your eyes, it looks like absolute matte. So it doesn't have any shimmer when you are blending on your eyes. It's just on the pan. So here is texture. So I don't know whether you guys can see, this is soft brown and this is texture. So I like both of them. My preferred method of using these two colors is like I just first use the soft brown to, you know, slightly blend it all over the crease. I just use my MAC 224 to, you know, sweep it all over my crease. Then for a defined crease, I just use texture. A very similar to texture is Saddle. So you can get either of them. So Saddle is pure matte, and texture has, as I mentioned, a little bit shimmer to it. And I think like Saddle is a little bit browner, and this one is a little bit orangier. So depending on your preference, you can go for either of them. So let me swatch it, guys. I'm running out of space. So here it is. So this one is texture and this one is Saddle. So as you can see, like Saddle has more pigment to it, and this one is like more on the browner side, and texture is more on the orangier side. But when you blend onto your eyes, they look almost similar. So depending on your preference, you can go for either of them. That's why I said, guys, like I will show you guys some similar shades, but you don't have to get both of them. You can just get either of them, and that will suffice your need. The next one is one of my top favorite eyeshadow from MAC, and if I had to pick like top 3 or top 2 eyeshadows even, I would pick this one, and this one is Brown Script. It's a beautiful, beautiful warm brown color. So here is brown skipped. I use it sometimes, you know, I sometimes use it all over my lid as well to create a very warm, you know, reddy brown eye. Or mostly I use it to deepen up my crease. So it creates a beautiful warmth to your eyes. I feel like whenever I'm traveling, I have to keep this with me because I feel like I'm incomplete with this eyeshadow. So that's a huge claim, I know, but I really like this eyeshadow. If you are a warm girl, if you like warm colors like me, you might think of getting this eyeshadow at your starter kit as well, because this can create a beautiful, beautiful warmth to any eyeshadow look. Like, I absolutely love this eyeshadow. Next is another brown, and this one is a deep reddy brown, and this one is called Swiss Chocolate. I generally use it as a outer V color to deepen up my outer V, or sometimes I use it on my crease as well. So if you have darker skin tone, instead of texture or saddle, you might find Swiss Chocolate as a transition color better work for you. But for my skin tone, or if you have lighter skin tone, you might find it as a more useful as an outer V color, or you know, just to create a very defined crease. So it's a very staple color to have in your collection if you want to get a reddy brown to get into your collection. And this one is Swiss Chocolate. Here it is. So as you can see, all the swatches: texture, saddle, brown skipped, and Swiss Chocolate. So Swiss Chocolate is pure like reddish, reddy brown color. It's beautiful. Like if you wanna put, you know, instead of putting black into your outer V, this can create a very soft look, but it creates the definition onto your outer third of the lid, but it doesn't look that much intense, if that makes sense. The next is a bronzy gold color, and this one is Amberlight. I don't know whether I have used it in a tutorial or in a get ready with me video, but it's a beautiful gold color, but it has like more bronze to it. That makes it more wearable. So MAC has another gold which is called Gold Mine. I think that's the one I first got, but I really found it difficult to use it, you know, most of the time. So this one is like more wearable, and it's beautiful. If you have like brown eyes, it's gonna pop with this color. So if you are looking for one gold or bronze color to have in your collection as a beginner, this is the color to go for. But if you have a little bit lighter skin tone than me, then you might find Woodwinked like a little bit, you know, more wearable. So here is Woodwinked. They are not similar. Like as you can see that Amberlight has more gold to it, and Woodwinked has like more muted gold. So it is a little bit on the bronzier side, but it is more muted. I love Woodwinked as well. Like this is one of the color that you can use it by itself, and if you just blend it on your crease, it takes on some other color. So when you blend it on your crease, if you have lighter skin tone, you will find that it creates an orangey color on your crease, and on the lid it looks more like muted gold. So it looks like you have used two eyeshadows, but you have actually used one. But on my skin tone, or if you are a little bit darker, it will not work as a, you know, two-tone eyeshadow, because on my crease when I blend that, it doesn't show up as that orange color because I have a little bit tan skin. But this is a great color for darker skin tone as well, so it will show as everyday, you know, muted gold color. But if you have a little bit tan or darker skin tone, you might find Amberlight more useful. So depending on your skin tone, you can choose either of them. They are not similar. As you can see, they are way different than each other. But if you are, you know, if you want to have one goldy bronze color on your collection for everyday use, then depending on your skin tone, you can pick either of them. So they both are great. And if you want to get both of them, you can totally go for them. They will not be, you know, redundant shades because they are totally different. So next I will go to some colors now. So let's go to purple. My absolute favorite purple is this one, Nocturnelle. I have a whole palette on purple, so I was kind of struggling when I was picking these eyeshadows for the beginners, but I thought like this is the one I want to mention for the beginners because this is absolutely amazing. So this is Nocturnelle. It creates a beautiful purple eye. This shadow is not the best quality of MAC eyeshadows. Like I don't know which formula is that. I think it's satin or what. But you have to work a little bit with that. As you can see, the swatch is not that intense. But if you put a black base or a white base underneath, or if you use the primer, I'm not using any primer here, it will look more intense. So here it is. You can create a beautiful purple smoky eye with it. Later I have found another eyeshadow that is very similar to Nocturnelle, and this one is total matte, and this one is called Fig 1. So if you are not satisfied with the quality of Nocturnelle, you can go for Fig 1. They are very similar, but Fig 1 is much more pigmented than Nocturnelle. So no matter how much I like Nocturnelle, I have to say that the shadow quality of Nocturnelle is not the best one. So I later discovered this one because very few people talk about this. So I first heard about this one, I got it, I was using it a lot. But when I found out Fig 1, I figured out that they work the same, but this one is a little better. So here is Fig 1 and here is Nocturnelle. I know my swatches are all over the place, sorry guys. But as you can see, they are very similar. On the lids, you cannot distinguish between these two. Let's go to Plum now. I have created a tutorial on this one, and this one is called Plum Dressing. I absolutely love this color. Very similar to this color is Cranberry, but Cranberry is more on the pinkier side, but Plum Dressing is more on the purple side. So you can own both of them. They will not be, you know, very similar like the Fig 1 or Nocturnelle. But if you want just one, then you can go for either of them. So let me swatch it, guys, because when you put them on your lid, like, it is very hard to distinguish. So this one is Plum Dressing and this one is Cranberry. As you can see, like, this one has like more pink to it and this one has more purple to it. But if you're gonna put it on your lid, like, it's very hard to distinguish between these two. So depending on your preference, you can go for either of them, or if you wanna get both of them, you can also get both of them, and that will not be the redundant shades. So the next color, I really wanted to include something that creates a very intense smoky eye, but you don't have to work that much. So this one is called MAC Club. I know everyone talks about this, and this is worth of talking. So MAC Club has like duochrome, so that's the uniqueness of this shadow, that you can just use it by itself. You don't need any transition color, just blend it onto your crease and it will create something that looks like you have use like 3-4 eyeshadows. So because of this duochrome, depending on from which side the light hits, it takes on this color. So it is a beautiful mix of brown and green. Let me swatch it for you guys. So here it is. Isn't that pretty? So it reminds me of MAC Blue Brown pigment, but Blue Brown is a pigment, so that is like more shinier or more, you know, more pigmented. But in the pan form, this is very similar to Blue Brown. Like, this will give you a similar look, but it is a lot easier to use because pigments are a little bit messy to work with. And as you can see, like, depending on from which side the light hits, it takes on that color. That's why when you blend onto your crease, like, you can just pack on this color all over the lid and take another blending brush to blend it on your lid. It looks like that you have green on your eyelid and brown on the crease, and it creates lots of dimension. And depending on how you blend it, it looks like you have you know, used 3-4 colors to blend your eyeshadows. So it looks absolutely amazing. If you are a beginner and if you are just starting creating smoky eye, you can just use this eyeshadow and create a very intense smoky eye. It looks like that you have worked on a lot on your eyes, but it's just this eyeshadow. And the last two, one is perfect matte black. Everyone needs a perfect matte black in their life. Like, if you're just starting your kit, you need at least one perfect matte black, because you can use it to deepen up your outer V, you can use it to, you know, smoke out your eyeliner, or you can use it as an eyeliner by itself, you know, just with a dampened brush. So matte carbon is not the best matte black eyeshadow, but this is one of the best black MAC eyeshadow that MAC has. Like, MAC has another one that is called Black Tide, but that has more, like, that has a little bit of glitter to it. So I prefer carbon over Black Tide. So it is not, as I said, like, it is not the most pigmented one. There is one for Makeup Geek that is like very pigmented, but sometimes I prefer this one over the Makeup Geek one, because sometimes, you know, you don't want that very intense black eyeshadow. Sometimes you want that, but sometimes you need something that is a little bit muted, but it suffices the work. So here is matte carbon. It's absolute matte black. Everyone needs a perfect matte black in their collection. You can also get Black Tide. Like, the glitter to that, it doesn't show up that much on your eyes, but my personal preference is carbon over Black Tide, but that's depending on your preference. You can get either of them. And the last is a highlighter. Everyone needs a highlighter to, you know, highlight their brow bone or the inner corner. Sometimes we skip this eyeshadow because we feel like, you know, why do we need any highlighter? Especially if you're a beginner, you don't understand the need of getting the highlighter. At least I didn't know about highlighting that much when I started collecting my MAC eyeshadows or when I was just starting makeup. So, but you know, it can create a lot of difference in the makeup, because if you just highlight your brow bone, it defines the whole structure of your face so much that that simple eyeshadow can make a lot of difference and create a lot of dimension on your eyes. Or if you just, you know, highlight your inner corner, it makes you look like a lot awakened. So I have picked Shroom as a highlighter because it's a perfect soft highlighter, which is not too much, but at the same time it also gives a perfect, you know, soft shimmery highlighting effect. So here it is. This is Shroom. As you can see, like, it is more on the pearly side. My another favorite is Ricepaper. So if you don't want to go for this pearly highlighter, if you have a little bit darker skin tone and you have more yellow undertone to your skin, you might prefer Ricepaper over Shroom. So Ricepaper has more yellow to it. They are very similar in terms of texture, but Ricepaper has more yellow to it and Shroom is more on the pearly side. So I use both of them equally. I love both of them, but depending on your preference, you can get either of them, or you can get both of them. Then sometimes, you know, depending on the look you are wearing, if you are wearing warmer look, you can prefer, you know, you might use Ricepaper, and if you are wearing a softer look, you might prefer to use Shroom. But so you will not regret if you get both of them, but if you're just starting, you can just get either of them and you can use them all the time, because Shroom is not too much, you know, it will not look like that a lot of shimmer on your brow bone or inner corner, same as Ricepaper. Like, they are very subtle, but at the same time they give a beautiful highlighting effect. So that's it, guys. That was all my top 12 pick for the beginners. If you're just starting at a starter kit, I think you might find it a little bit helpful, and it might make your decision process of getting the MAC eyeshadows a little bit easier, because I struggled a lot, because at that time when I first started, you know, collecting my MAC eyeshadows, I didn't know about YouTube. Nobody used to talk about, you know, these eyeshadows that much on YouTube. There were not that much channels or blogs talking about, you know, the beginner's guide or anything. So I suffered a lot. I ended up getting some eyeshadows that I have never used, or I reached these eyeshadows after a long time and I found, like, where was I? Why did I got all those stuff first and now I'm getting this? So I know the struggle. I know, like, how you feel confused, like, looking at all those eyeshadows in front of you when you are going to the MAC counter, especially because they have like hundreds of shades. So I think, like, I could help a little bit to, you know, make your decision process a little bit easier. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you soon. Bye bye.